let's talk about the reunions.
Yes.
And the barbecues. And by the way, before we get off the air with you, I'd like to get an address that I can send you some stuff, because one of our big sponsors on Black Sky Radio is Big Dick's Dry Rub, and I want to send you some dry rub for your barbecue. I'm not kidding. Okay, here.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing, because I know you're not kidding.
Well, Big Dick is actually in reference to the Joint Chief of Staff under Carter, Dick Shockey. A friend of mine's dad was he's a lieutenant something or another, major colonel, some high-ranking guy under Carter, and he has a dry rub named after him because there's two things he enjoys: bad jokes and barbecue. So I want to send you some Big Dick's Dry Rub it's a treat for your meat. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Oh, it's good on everything.
And it really.
Oh my goodness.
It works great on popcorn, if you can imagine.
It's like we're gonna give you a taste, and then you're gonna rely on us for like the rest of your life to get more.
Yeah,
You'll be my first one's free.
Exactly. We're crack dealers. First one's free.
Yep.
Crack dealers.
How did the reunions start? I mean, obviously you guys get done with the filming of all this stuff, and then like a year after you're all done, you're like, hey, let's go have a party, or how did that work?
What we did was, I think what happened initially was it started with the screenings. We had, I think we tried to get together the spring after we all got back, because the show took 10.5 months to shoot. But not everybody was out there for 10.5 months. Some of us were out there for 10 months. And then, so as it finished, once you were done and you were rotating out, if you weren't going to be in the last week, you were sent home. So we finished I think they had a big wrap party a week or a week and a half before they were completely finished. So some of the guys finished, and we stayed for a few more days for the wrap party. But we were sort of phased out. I think the last person out of there, I think, was Richard Speight, who actually, when he played Skip Muck, and if you guys get a chance to talk to Richard, you should as well. He's not only a funny guy, he's a great storyteller as well.
2 weeks from now, he'll be on.
Awesome. He's fantastic, and he is truly one of the funniest people I've met in my entire life. Truly. So he's a treat.
Well, he played a part on one of Jenna's favorite shows, and she's just over here tittering.
I'm just like completely freaking out, because like I'm gonna geek myself to death on that day when I get to talk to him. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, are you a what do you call it? The two guys?
Yes, the Supernatural.
Yeah. Supernatural.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. He travels around to all those fan.
Yeah, I might be going to the Chicago convention.
Oh, you might now, huh?
Yeah, she's only had her ticket booked for a year. She found out about it like a week after it happened.
I may have factored that in somewhere.
Well, here's what. Now that we have him coming on the show, quite possibly he can be your in for an actual sit down, and you can get to meet him in Chicago in October.
Yes.
He would totally do that. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's just a good guy. That's guaranteed. But anyway,
yeah. Let's.
So I think we started to get together. He was the last guy. He actually got sick, and he had to stay for an extra 2 weeks. So he didn't come back till it was either just before Christmas or just after Christmas. So he stayed like 3 or 4 weeks. Was sort of bedridden. Had gotten like a parasite or something from all the stuff in the trenches and everything. So, long story short, though, obviously this big protracted, everyone getting shipped home, and we were going to get together in the spring, and it just sort of never happened. Then we had some press events that we started doing. We started traveling around together again, visiting the guys on bases. They started doing screenings on different bases before it was released to get, sort of get the military behind it as a tool to help market the show. Because nobody cares what you make if nobody sees it. It doesn't exist. So the screenings started to come around, and we started doing those, and then the show was getting ready to air, and then I said, "Hey, let's do an airing at my house. When it premieres, let's come to my house and and watch the show together. So a lot of the cast got together at my house to watch the first episode, and then I think the second episode, someone who said, "Hey, let's do it at my place." So it became this thing where it was gonna rotate around to different houses, whoever was able to sort of host it, because some of us had bigger houses than others that were more equipped to handle all the people. And I think it was just really decided fairly early on that just the layout of my house lended itself very well to, or lent itself very well to having a lot of people here, and the screenings, and so forth. When I got back, the summer I got back, I built a large deck on the back of the house and put in a big barbecue. And I think it started out as a joke, really, that we were going to all come back here and, once everything was done with the backyard, we were going to have a big barbecue. That year, in October, we went to one of the reunions for the men that the men have. And I'm not sure, I want to say that one was in Phoenix, but I'm not positive. And about 6 or 8 of us went to the reunion and had a great time. And I think we started discussing then, maybe we should do our own little thing and see if there's any interest in it. And Frank, John Hughes, and myself got together and started talking about it seriously and said, "Hey, let's set this date. Let's keep it, sort of around the time we started shooting the show, which was April 1st, and then the 2 weeks prior. So anything in the end of March, beginning of April would work, and we'll find out who's working and who's going to be in town, and if there's a weekend that works better for everybody, and there's going to be more of us in town at any certain point, let's choose that one." We did it, planned it for I think the last week in March. It was a great success, and it's been going on ever since. And it gets. Some years are really big, some years are not as big. It all depends on who's in town. And basically the idea is that if you are involved with Band of Brothers and you are in town, you are invited. And that is the only criteria. It's not just an actor thing. It's not, it's nothing to do with anything other than if you were involved with that project. And this year, actually, we had probably 9 or 10 of the guys from the Pacific who came just because they had heard about the reunion barbecue and wanted to experience it themselves, and they had a fantastic time. Great group of guys, and we told them then their lives have been changed. This is something that will stay with you for the rest of your life, and it will affect you in ways that you will never be able to put into words. Look, we make entertainment, which is great, and it is important because people need to be able to escape. They need to be able to forget for a little while. Sometimes they need to remember. We were involved in something that transcends all of that. It's something that affected not only the men that we portrayed, but their children, their children's children, and society as a whole. This is a sort of group of men in a time where it was not okay to share your feelings. This was not the war or the era of Vietnam where everybody came back and was able to say, we hate you, we hate what you did, or we disagree with what you did, and for the men to defend themselves and say, well, too bad, or this and that. And I don't mean that in any other way other than being able to voice your opinion about the war, whether it be good or bad or indifferent. The wars after World War II, people were able to do that. The press allowed that to happen, and society allowed that to happen, for better or for worse.